A main teaching from Neville Goddard is that before you go to sleep, you should pull up a scene that pretty much implies that whatever it is that you're looking for, the desire that you want, has been completed, right? Like it's a scene saying this has been done so that your subconscious can grab that and say this is done and over. A lot of times, though, questions that I get is, hey, if I'm trying to replay this scene over and over, I struggle then to fall asleep. Like I have problems being able to get myself to sleep. And the whole key point of doing this, it's called state akin to sleep, or SATS is what folks call it. The purpose of doing this is to actually gather the feeling before you drift off to sleep, because sleep is like entrance into the subconscious, the same way as prayer is entrance into the subconscious. And when you pull up those feelings by replaying the scene over and over and immersing yourself into it, what you're doing is implanting that thought into your subconscious as you drift off to sleep. It's the whole reason why you really don't want to have like crazy thoughts and ruminating thoughts right before you go to bed. Like those are then sitting on your mind, they sit heavy on you, and it kind of continues in your like subconscious. It kind of plants a seed, you could say. So the purpose is to make sure that before you go to sleep that you really align to this feeling that you want to have, so that it can implant in your subconscious and then come into your world. The issue is sometimes it's hard to get into that feeling, and I want to share what I call the 3 R's, which is something that I started doing kind of a while ago to greater success than I imagined I would, which has been like really phenomenal. But it's a great way to get into the feeling, be relaxed, and then be able to fall asleep without feeling like you have to replay a scene over and over. So you can start this process really anytime in the evening. I sometimes start it like right after dinner with my first R and then go into some of the other R's as I get closer, and I'll explain what they all are. But a lot of times I found that the best for me is to start about an hour before bed. So there's a few things that I do to make sure that I can sleep well that are actually based on scientific studies of ways that us as humans tend to do better getting ready for bed. One is to get off my dang phone. And I think I've admitted on here many times that this is a struggle for me. I am a struggle bus with like being off of my phone. But if I put my phone away and down an hour before bed, I just tend to sleep much better. I also don't watch a lot of TV, so I don't have the TV on. And I just know that I'm starting to prepare myself for bed. I also turn off any of like the crazy bright lights on in my house. By turning off the bright lights, I'm kind of triggering to my own mind like, hey, we're getting ready for bed. I try not to eat about 2 hours before I know I'm going to go to bed, especially like a heavy meal. And I definitely don't do strenuous workouts probably about 2 hours before I'm going to go to bed either. And with the lights, a lot of times I'll turn on like amber colored lights. So it's like kind of a nice ambiance, and it also adds to my feelings of self-love, right? This is like a way to take care of myself. It's a way to feel like really good. And so I'll do that. So that's my kind of like pre getting ready for bed. Now this is where I step into doing the 3 R's. So the 3 R's are to refresh, renew, and reflect. Refresh is some sort of cleaning, like physical cleaning of your body. You can take a shower, you can take a bath, it can be washing your face, and then putting on your pajamas, but really respect your body in that moment and cleanse yourself. The second is to renew, and that's a renewal of the mind. So you can read, you can work on learning a new skill, meditation is great, and of course you can do more than one thing, right? Like I like to read before bed, I always meditate before bed, and I work on my breath work. So I'll do some other videos on breath work if you're interested. Actually, probably will do some other ones because I find breath work very, very helpful to ground yourself, select your reactions to events, kind of calm yourself in the moment, come back into the present moment. And there's tons of different ways that you can do this that are all phenomenal. So I'll do some other content on that. But so when I renew my mind, sometimes I'll also do a walk. And if I'm taking a walk outside for the evening, either I take a loved one with me so that we can hang out together, I'll make a phone call, something that makes me feel loved and connected, or I'll just listen to the sounds of the world, right? Like I love to listen. Where I live, there's coyotes and I can hear them like howling in the background. Sometimes there's owls out. Like it's really neat to walk around like that and just feels so good to be connected in that moment and doing something that's good for me and good for my dogs, because of course I take them with me too. And then the last one is reflect. Now, you can start this one anytime before bed, but I would give yourself probably at least 20 minutes to do this, especially when you're first getting started. And we're going to talk about the lovely revision technique in this as well. So, reflect is to look back at your day. Was I aligned to my ideal future self within this day? Did I behave in the ways that's aligned to my values? And a lot of these should be set when you are looking at your intentions. I have an intention guide that I'll link down below if you have any interest, but otherwise I've got some other content on making sure that you are setting your intentions and looking at those intentions and how to align them to your values and your ideal future self, right? To make sure that you are constantly working towards being the person, embodying the person that you want to be. The greatest video I think on that is probably like the trick that turns your desires into reality. I'll link that up here and put it down in the description as well, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of the best video to look at that. And then again, you can get a guide that I have on my website for you to go through this whole process, like in a journal form, but really you can do it on your own as well. It's just paying attention. So did you align to this person that you want to be today? Did you do the things that you said you were going to do? Or were there areas that maybe didn't go the way that you wanted them to go, right? That you think I could have either behaved better or I wished so-and-so would have behaved better. Like maybe your boss did something you didn't like, or you got a text message that really upset you, or you just behaved in a way that you don't like. This is where we're going to do revision. But what I like to refer to as a calm revision, all I want you to do without any concern of whether you're doing something right or wrong is just to stop and think about the moment that didn't go the way you wanted to. You were not aligned, the person didn't behave the way you wanted to, something didn't happen or something did happen that kind of threw you off and you just wish it had gone differently. I want you to replay that moment in your mind until you don't feel those tightening in your stomach, the rush of adrenaline. You're almost indifferent to it, right? So you're just going to take a moment, be indifferent to that moment of what happened. Then I want you to imagine, without any concern of whether you're doing something right or wrong, what would it have been like had it gone the way you wanted it to? And I'm not a great visualizer. I will say it's getting better as I keep practicing. It's actually really cool. It's getting much better. So I'm not a great visualizer, but I can still visualize this kind of moment and how I would prefer it to go. I can hear people talking. I can kind of imagine what it would be like and what it would feel like. As you're doing this, I'm telling you that this event is going to play out somehow in your future. It's like your future aligns to this past that you have revised now. And I just want you to imagine a few times that it had gone the way that you wanted to. Give yourself some things yeah, that would have been much better. I like that version better. I'm going to choose that version. But it is a very calm, no concern. We're not going to go hunt to see if it worked. And you can do this multiple times, right? And just keep doing it every single night. And then I want you to ask yourself during your reflection, okay, if I had been the person that I want to be, what would that have looked like, right? How would this have been? And what did I do today that I can do differently tomorrow? How can I become 1% better in the way that I'm behaving, the things that I'm doing, so that I can align to this future self? And so those are the 3 R's. And I'm telling you, the more that you start practicing this, it will change your life. You will be amazed because you can't go through this reflection process without dwelling on being your ideal person. And then you just drift off to sleep wonderfully, feeling fantastic because you have now aligned your thoughts and feelings with that ideal version of yourself. So really curious what you think about this. If you have more questions about it, you can leave them down below, or you can also shoot me an email, unleashinghappiness@ceciliahendricks.com. If you have not already and you like this type of content and you like to figure out ways to use law of attraction and law of assumption and the teachings of Neville Goddard in very practical, pragmatic, process-based ways that actually make sense, and don't make you feel like you're kind of losing it because you can focus on, okay, here's how I become this better person. Here's how I become the person that I want to be. Definitely give me a follow. I think that is all that my content's about. I talk about changing your habits, changing your mindset, and I give really actionable advice. So here's something to go try. And if that resonates with you, definitely give me a follow. I would love to have you as a subscriber, and I wish you nothing but the absolute best today.